Yeah. Good job. Network connection lost. Oh, I love it when things come together like this. Are you there?
Yes, everybody's here. There's
Hell
people
yeah.
watching and you're live.
It keeps telling me network lost, but I'm glad to know I'm here. It's a great day to be alive. I know my dogs are watching, and if you ain't, I know you will be. And if you are watching and you ain't my dog yet, you will be, because I'm Swede and I'm here to help you get busy. Welcome back to the Get Busy Living podcast, where we're going 55 months in a row on at least one epic adventure every single month. This month, I'm going to LA. Last month, I was somewhere else. Next month, I might be in a town near you. Come with me. Get busy living with me. Look, we got a great show tonight, guys. We're doing something different than we've ever done before. Tonight, we're going to walk through the nuts and bolts of why we chose to do a nonprofit. And you're choosing to help us with this, and we're going to break it down for you. It's a part of the show. But first, since nothing is worth having, if it ain't worth sharing, please help me welcome to the stage my dynamic co-host, Los Angeles, the dynamic D-Rex.
Well, hello there.
always on the scene.
I'd like to
Wow.
explain to everybody that is here already, and thank you for being here, by the way. I'm happy to be here. Swede's happy to be here. Swede was almost not here because right as we were about to go live, his internet went out. So Swede's live from his phone right now until it all comes back.
And now my phone
But
is telling me network connection lost. Are you hearing
you're
me?
here. You're here and you're
That's
fine.
weird. It's in my face. It's in my face. Sorry.
So we're as fine as we can be. And we are excited to talk to you guys tonight about why we both decided to start nonprofits and what's the point of that? Why start a nonprofit? And if you're thinking about starting one, what are the benefits, the pitfalls? What's harder than you expected? What's easier than you expected? And why it's important? Because if you're on the fence about should I aim my business toward profit or nonprofit, you might want to watch this and see what we have run into when forming our nonprofits and see whether it's necessary for you, because it's a lot of work, but I feel completely worth it. How about you, Swede?
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about what kind of work it is and exactly what you got to do to like fit the mold, but also do what's required legally. And I mean, we're not going to be your go-to resource to type research and a lot of reading, but we're going to try to sum it up for you and make it understandable as to why we chose this route so that we can accomplish what we want to accomplish. Maybe it's the right thing for you to do, but we know that we're walking the right path. We just want you to understand that in walking that path, transparency is an important ingredient. So tonight we're going to give you some transparency to what we got going on here with the Help Swede Walk Again organization. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to have Carol coming from behind the curtain tonight with her unique perspective, and we're going to talk a little bit about Schaefer, and that's an important aspect to all of this. When you are choosing nonprofit, you're choosing to reinvest whatever your profits would normally be back into something that is for the betterment of the community. And we have a method of nominating people that might be one of your loved ones or might be you, that you feel that you could use some help. And by pouring our profit margins into helping the community, just like standard nonprofits, we might be able to help you by the collective generosity that we're trying to channel here. And so by tuning in tonight, you're going to see how it works and whether or not it's something you might want to get involved in. So D-Rex, I mean, for you, when you told me how you were set up, I was infatuated with that. And I didn't even know that it was possible to do it like that. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started and why you chose that path?
Oh, well, my nonprofit is a little bit different than yours. Mine provides music lessons to the surrounding area here. And I mostly chose that because I saw a need for that. I was a piano teacher. My schedule was full, and people would just not get lessons if they couldn't sign up with me. And I thought that is a tragedy. That is a tragedy that kids are going without lessons because my schedule's full. And I pretty much begged other schools to expand into this area. They said, no, we're not interested. And that's when I thought, well, it could be me, but I don't want it to be me. And I said, okay, I'm only going to let it be me that does this because I knew it was going to be a lot of work. I'm only going to let this be me if this certain space that I want opens up. And within a month, it opened up, which was a really, really odd thing to happen. So I thought, okay, this is a sign that I am supposed to dive into this work. I am supposed to be the one that brings music lessons to this area. And that's really what a nonprofit is where you're bringing a benefit to a population or a community. And I knew that it would benefit this neighborhood. So when I wanted to start my nonprofit, people said it's a lot of paperwork. And I think that that's something that you have to be prepared for. It's going to be a lot of paperwork, but it's possible. Just about anything you want to do that's a lot of work. All you have to do is keep going. Just keep going, bits at a time, right? Anything that you have done in this past year, Sweden, you've done a lot. Anything that you've done, you've just done it a bite at a time, right? We keep saying that. How do you eat the elephant? And that's how you start a nonprofit as well. You eat that elephant one bite at a time. First I'd like to say there's a lot of people here and we'd like to know who you are. So please in the comments, say hello so we can say hello to you. It's so good to see everybody. And Swede, can you see when I pop these up on the screen who's here today? We have
I see a
Scooty Wells. We got Aaron.
Hello, Boozy.
Lori's here. Maybe she can chime in when we're talking about Schaefer. Got Darren and Brian, Glenn.
Pickle is in the house. Oh, what up, Mr. Grossman?
We're so happy to see all you guys. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be the talk that you might not have been expecting, but it might change things for you. If you were ever considering helping more people or starting a nonprofit, we have firsthand experience with that. And we're going to be chatting a bit about it today.
Yeah. And so technology has not always been our best friend, even though it is what gets us here every time. Mm-hmm. Not always been perfect for us. And that's why you see my head shaking around so much, which I normally I'm not doing. And I normally am able to be a co-producer in this show. But because at the very moment I was about to push go live, my screen froze. And now I'm on cellular, but of the show production stuff that I had, the facts we're going to share on this show are inaccessible to me at the moment, but we're still able to talk wisely about how to operate a nonprofit because both of us have done it and done it well, And so,
you know what? If you would like me to talk for a few more minutes about it while you get your setup happening there, I can talk for a few more minutes about this whole thing.
Please do. Continue on. Yeah,
okay.
By all means.
All right. So I did eat that paperwork one bite at a time. And yes, it was a lot. But I think that when you get into something that you know is going to be a lot, if you just have the mindset like this is going to be a lot and I'm going to do it, you can get through it. That's how I feel about the heat in Phoenix, by the way. Every time I get there, I just think to myself, it's going to be hot. I'm going to get hot. And I'm able to handle the heat that way. So I think you know what you're getting into.
But when it's every day and it's like, I feel like I'm in the I Am Legend movie where you can't go in the sun, like the zombies can't go in the sun. I feel like that. Like the sun here is so, it's peeking around the corner and you put your hand out there. It's like, don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different kind of heat. And nonprofit paperwork is a different kind of paperwork. But then once you get through it all and you finally get that piece of paper in the mail that says you have been designated a nonprofit, you are going to benefit the community. Everything is worth it. And if you think that you're going to open a nonprofit or start a nonprofit just to get out of some taxes, the paperwork and the taxes that you save kind of balance each other out. You really have to get into nonprofit work in order to, like, your mission has to be to help people. Honestly, it has to come from you, something that you want to do. It's not about saving on taxes. Swede, are you ready to join us again? I know that you were going to show some videos and they're probably not loaded.
Yeah, I'm still just on cellular, and in fact, you're breaking up. I can't even tell if you can hear me right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I can hear you. Well, there was a whole lot that you were going to say, and I would need you to say it and not me to say it. So how would you like to proceed? Oh, look at this. Aaron's starting a nonprofit. Aaron, why don't you tell us about what nonprofit you're starting? So, Swede, what would you like to do to proceed?
Well, I'm going to tell a little. I mean, if I can, I'll still tell the knowledge that I wanted to pass along. I don't have the graphics and the video to support it, but what I was going to want to do is explain, basically what the 501c3 status is. You have to meet certain criteria, and you have to either serve a charitable organization, be a religious cause. You have to be educational. You could be scientific. There are other nonprofit purposes, but you have to be able to, support in the paperwork, like you were saying, that you're doing something that's charitable like that, and it gives you a tax exempt status, basically, so that more of your resources can use to further your cause, because it's a cause that the government has deemed worthy, and you have to meet certain eligibility criteria, like having a clear and specific charitable, religious, educational, scientific, cause. There has to be a public benefit. That's key. And so your activities should be directed towards benefiting the general public, basically. A significant segment of it, though, rather than private individuals or groups. You cannot, you cannot be self motivated, so to speak. The donations and deductions can typically happen. Whenever you donate, what is received by me, if it was a normal for business, is taxable. And when you donate it, when you earn that money that you donated was also taxable. So operating this way, it helps the person that's participating and the person that's organizing. Does that make sense? But there are limitations, like you can't be political about it. You can't be a lobbyist. You know what I mean? And if you meet all these criteria and you keep the paperwork to prove that you're doing it this way, then you can be designated 501c3. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, can I put up Erin's comment here? She's starting a nonprofit for age-appropriate grief support and addiction education for children 5 to 18 affected by opioid overdose death. Erin, that's amazing. That is so clearly stated. That is a mission statement right there, folks. And that's what you need to have when you start your nonprofit. You have to have a clear mission statement, so that when people ask you, what is your nonprofit about? And when people ask you, what is your nonprofit about? You have something as clear as day like that, so they know immediately that you know what you're talking about. Amazing.
Dang, Boozy, you got me tearing up. That's solid. That's solid. Wow. Powerful. We need to get little Boozy back on, don't we?
Yeah. She got a lot going on. So
yeah.
Would you like to talk about what caused you to form your nonprofit for people who might be new to the show?
Sure. Absolutely. Well, my mission is to pay forward the human kindness. My life was saved, and that's the best way I've learned to describe it. And so I want to be able to pay that forward. And when I found this, it was a recommendation to me. I really wasn't familiar with the difference between for-profit and nonprofit. And I was familiar with business ownership. But I've been following the mentorship and leadership. I always try to make it a point to thank the behind the scenes people, that don't ever put their faces on this show, that helped me. And by the good advice and guidance, found the nonprofit path was the best way to go. And since the psychological benefits of operating a nonprofit also are powerful. When like it warms my heart to know that you're giving singing lessons, D-Rex, and music lessons. How many different
Well,
instruments do you teach how to play?
personally, I do not teach singing lessons. I have teachers that teach singing lessons. Um, but it does not matter how many instruments I know or teach. But one thing that really warms my heart is knowing that we are serving everyone in this area who was looking for lessons before, and I don't have to say, no, my calendar is full, and
Yeah,
know that some kid out there is just waiting, because the longer they wait, the more they lose interest. And I can't tell you how important I feel music lessons are for young people. And it makes me so happy at the end of the day to lock that door and know that we serve this community. And that's the kind of feeling that you get with your nonprofit. A for-profit business is, sure, that's commendable that you start a business. It really is. But a nonprofit is something special because you're really, truly helping people.
absolutely. And for those of you that aren't really clear about that, look, there are tax benefits to for-profit businesses too.
Hmm.
The tax
A
code is
lot.
just it's an incentive basis. It's put together to incentivize business ownership. They want you to start a business and have employees. Why? That's more tax revenues. The more employees you have, the more people you have actively engaged in stuff that benefits, the government and society in general. I mean, we like to think that although nobody will doubt there's crooked politicians is an epidemic, or like another subject that everybody's talking about now. The truth is that most people that get into politics start off kind-hearted, and just the system, takes it that way. But when you get into politics, and you are helping form laws, you're usually doing it to help the people in your community. That's the basis of it. And the tax code's no different. So it really is designed to help incentivize people to get involved and to go out and do something. The persons that pay the most taxes are the employees, the ones that are doing the I don't want to say the easiest, the most accessible level of help is being an employee for someone. So that gets the least amount of tax benefits. But the more you do, the more complicated your efforts are, and the more successful they are, and the more revenues you're generating, the more people you're employing, the more beneficial the tax code is. I mean, that's the way it should be, right? It's incentivizing you to do more and do better. So nonprofit is no different, but the difference is that, or it is different, but that difference is you operate your business the same. All the taxes though are different in that they don't tax the revenues that are generated that are spent back on the community. So our way of spending it back on the community is we are trying to help people by getting them access to stem cell therapies. And so by participating in this podcast, showing up. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. Every one of you guys in the comments, smiles, uh, um, Darren and Swells, and we got little Boozy in the house. And I mean, I can't see all you guys from where I'm at, but I love you guys. All that, how much I do. But seriously, you guys, please help by spreading the word. Like, subscribe. Click that link and just throw it up there for me on your next post, and let's perpetuate this energy into getting this little guy some stem cells. Because once we get one, that's the thing that the next segment will help you understand about how nonprofits work. Is once we get one and we're able to prove that we have credibility and that we're going to spend the money on the right thing. And every single one of the names I just said, I know you guys all trust me, and I trust you. And so by perpetuating that and proving that we can do right with that dough, then that's when we get the attention of the people with the real money, the ones that have achieved a level of success that we all are familiar with, where you can afford to give. And the people that have real money, if we can prove to them that we're going to do good things with that money, then that's where this nonprofit starts to make a difference. And how about making a difference in Schaefer's life and the next person? And by the way, those of you in the audience, those in the comments, the ones that are watching now live, the ones that are listening to me and looking in my eyes right now and feeling me in this moment, if you help us like this and you see us take this little guy down there and get him them treatments and see how it affects him, and then the next person, imagine that next person is your loved one. That's why we have nominees at the hswa.org. Send us the stories of the people you feel, could use the help. If they're working for it, man, we want to help them get there. That's real. That's why we set that email up. That's how we got a hold of Schaefer. That's why we're trying to help him. So if you know somebody else that could use the help, that's working for it, and you just need a boost, that's what we want to do with it. I can't be any more real with it than that. So I don't have the media that I was going to show about how to donate, but it's simple. We have the graphics, the hswa.org. Hit the Help Schaefer button. $50 or more, we need 1,000 donations. Out of $50 or more, that generates enough revenues to be able to afford to send Schaefer to get those therapies. It's going to get you a book to your door, and we're going to take a name out of those 1,000 donors, and the winner is going to get them plus one on an all-expense guided tour in Alaska with Scooty Wells. I mean, we're trying to help everybody a little bit somehow, right? At least get a book.
And you know what? That's
right?
for anybody who's new to us, I would like to just talk for a second about who Schaefer is. Schaefer is a wonderful 6-year-old boy, and we all love him so much, but he's afflicted with cerebral palsy, and he has to work harder than every other kid his age just to walk and play and do all the normal things. And everybody feels, including the Stem Cell Institute, that stem cells will benefit him, and he's going to be our first recipient. And since we're not able to get your media up right now, Swede, do you think that I should play that interview with Schaefer so a listener can get to know him a little bit better?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Since you have it. That's
okay.
Great.
Hey, Schaefer.
Yes.
How old are you, buddy?
6.
6? How'd you get so old?
I don't know.
What grade are you in?
First.
So what do you like about first grade?
That I do science, but I don't do science. I just do I just have recess after lunch.
Wait a second. You like to do science, but you don't have science, so you have recess after lunch?
Yeah.
Do you have some friends at school?
Yeah.
Do they have things in common with you?
Yeah.
Things that you guys like to do together? Like what kinds of things?
Play on the swings. Yeah, and look at my new shoes.
Oh my goodness. Do you like cats or do you like dogs?
I like dogs better.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your dog's name?
Blue. I like to always wrestle them. I like to always do yard work.
Do yard work?
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Oh.
I got something to show you.
You do? Show me.
My bear.
That's so cute. We both have animals with us. Would you ever ride a shark?
No.
No? Oh.
No.
I was kind of hoping you would say yes. Do you like pizza or ice cream?
Pizza.
Do you like broccoli or eggplant?
What's eggplant?
Do you think you eat pretty healthy?
Yeah. I like to eat some grapes.
Would you ever put a duck on your head?
No.
No?
But I can do 10 jumping jacks.
Let me see.
Dude, that was 1.
Okay.
Then 2. Then 3.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Michael Jackson.
Really? Do you have a favorite song?
What's my favorite song? Say it really, really well.
Oh, Smooth Criminal. Schaefer, what would you like to be for Halloween this year?
Hugs the clown.
Oh, is that creepy?
Yeah, I know it's scary.
What?
A great white shark.
A great white shark is scary.
I know.
You know what else is in the ocean? Jellyfish.
Yeah,
What do you think a jellyfish would taste like?
rotten meat.
What if there was a jellyfish flavored ice cream? Would you try it?
No,
What is your favorite thing about your mom?
that she always brings me to special places.
And what is your favorite thing about your dad?
That he always brings me places.
Oh, so you like to go places.
I know I like to go out somewhere and stuff. Go out to Five Guys. Yeah. Actually, I like Buffalo Wild Wings.
I just want to know if you want to say hi to your friends on camera.
How about I just don't do that?
What is your favorite thing in the world?
Monster truck.
Oh, wow. What do you like about monster trucks?
I like how they do backflips.
Have you ever seen the ones that shoot fire?
Yeah. How
do you feel about being on a podcast, Schaefer?
Excited. Is this my first time?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know where Swede's even at?
Yeah, Swede lives in Arizona. Do you know where that is?
No.
It's out in the desert.
What? It's out there?
Yeah, he's in a really hot place named Phoenix, Arizona. Have you ever heard of it?
No. I gotta Google it. I gotta Google the hottest place. What's that place called again? Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Right now. Whoa, where did you go? I lost you.
You found me, though.
What does 2 + 1 equal?
I think it equals 3.
1, 2, 3. Yes. That's the last question.
The last question? Oh, okay. I'm so sad that it's over. I just think that you're a pretty cool guy. And I think that we can be friends.
Okay.
All right. High five.
Hell yeah.
So that's why we do it. That's why we're funding him, because that's an amazing kid and he deserves all the help he can get. That guy works so hard in his therapy classes just to get to baseline, things that we take for granted, people. So that is why he's our first recipient. So make sure that you look below, go to the hswa.org to donate, or please share that link on your social media because that is so important too.
Yeah, there's a lot of important stuff. Like in this show, if you're watching, like that stuff for us, man. And like I said, copy that link and send it out. Let somebody else know that we're trying to help this guy. And I'm over here trying to help this guy. I think I might have restarted my router and it's still not working. So we're just going to keep shoving along. But D-Rex, I do want people to get the nuggets that we had to share. We had share with them about this nonprofit stuff, how it works, why it works, because I feel like the more that people understand how we're doing what we're doing and why, the more likely they are to support the cause. And one of the things that I really loved about the nonprofit concept, rather than going the profit way, is because I'm going to put my money back into it anyway. And the fact that it's a nonprofit, it forces you to be transparent. And I love operating in that realm. Just keeping it real with people, I like playing with my cards on the table face up,
Mm-hmm.
and a nonprofit kind of, obligates you to do that, so people know that, there is eligibility criteria, in order to be a nonprofit. So you have to have organizational structure. So you have to be you can't be an LLC. You have to be a corporation, and that opens up a whole nother door of paperwork, right? And then you have to have exempt purposes, meaning you have to have primary purpose that falls under, categories, they're all specified in the tax code, but, you have to, they have to be either, like I already said, education or helping the poor, or like some sort of religious promotion, charitable endeavors like what we're doing with stem cell therapies and advocating for. I mean, really, honestly, but you have to have some sort of status like that that's going to gain you that exemption. You know what I mean? Like in your case, where you're teaching, that's educating, obviously.
Yeah.
So there can't be a private benefit. Like you can't, like for example, that's why I think people are confused by the Help Swede Walk Again name, and I have questioned naming it that, because I named it that because that's the name of the Facebook fundraising campaign that saved my life. So I thought that, number one. There are other substantial reasons, but I think people get confused by that name. It's not to help me. I'm going to help myself. I've founded this so that people know that by helping me, I'm perpetuating that. I'm paying it forward, and it's all in a transparent way. You know what I mean? And so, other criteria is you can't have a political agenda, period, and that for obvious reasons, right? So you can't be like lobbying for a cause. You can't say I'm going to go. Like I can't say I'm going to go change the laws for stem cells. I can't do that. All I can do is like accept your donations, and then put the money towards the bills. Like I can't go out there and like pay politicians to go change the laws, and I'm not interested in that. And so, and you'll know that because part of the criteria is also that our books have to be transparent, right? So if one of your clients, or not clients, but one of your donors, D-Rex, came to you and wanted to, see how you were using the dough, you're required to show them. I mean, you don't have to like open up
You fill out a form every year, showing what you provided in that past year. And I think that's probably the part that was a little bit nebulous and confusing to me at first, is that there are certain forms that you have to file at certain points of the year in order to stay compliant and remain a nonprofit. So if anybody's thinking about doing this, my piece of advice through firsthand experience is create yourself a document. Once you find out that you need to file a form at a certain point in a year, make a document and put it in that document. I need to file this form by this date. Every 2 years, every year, every quarter, whatever it is, put it in that document. You can't lose track of when you need to file these forms.
Good advice, D-Rex. So for those of you who don't know, I'm new at the game, and D-Rex is one of many confidants that I've confided in. If you don't know, confidant, confide, simple. That's where that comes from. Anyway, I'm new to the game, and so this is good advice for me to know.
Oh, we lost Swede again. So I've had my nonprofit now for 7 years, and it does get easier. It's that first couple of years that can be a little confusing, a little overwhelming. But the more you make documents and reminders for yourself, the easier it gets. That's definitely my number one piece of advice. And I can see Swede hovering in the background here.
Oh yeah.
So I'm wondering, for you, one thing that was harder than expected and one thing that was easier than expected when forming your nonprofit.
Wow.
You back?
So I'm wondering.
Doug's looking out for me. Sorry, he was making sure I was in. One thing that was hard and one thing that was unexpectedly easy. I mean, the hardest part I think, is remaining committed and dedicated, because it's one thing to think you're building something that when it blows up, you're gonna have a big house and drive a nice car. That's not my. I mean, I've built a company that I benefited from by my, before, and I went traveling, so to build a company where you can spend that money freely and it's yours is different than building a company where the extra dough you got, you need to help people with it. And so um, remaining committed to that kind of cause, I think. When you have temptation, like I'm part of a global tech experience right now where they're teaching us to have digital marketing career path, and the types of salaries that people that are graduating this program with, it's hard to pass up. you know but I'm learning that stuff so that I can perpetuate this stuff. I want to get better at helping people. I want to get better at helping people. And so I think that's the honestly.
So you're saying choosing charity rather than profit right now is probably the hardest thing. Although I know for you that the charity is not hard once you start thinking about who you're helping. That's the easiest thing for you. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
maybe it's the hardest and the easiest thing.
It definitely. Well, I think I might be saying it. I'm not nailing it the way I'm describing it, because you're right. It comes natural to me, and I feel I'm all in. I'm surprised that the easy part for me, I thought, honestly, even though we've been talking about how it's difficult to keep all the paperwork going, I was surprised at how simple it was for me to state my cause, that how I wanted to help. Like once I fill the paperwork out and send it in, that's not easy. The paperwork's not easy filling out, but proving yourself, I thought was like, wow, the government is probably rather accepting of this cause. And there are people out there that are having nonprofits that are doing all kinds of different things that you would not off the cuff think would be, liable. Like, I mean, not that animals aren't important, but if you're feeding puppies, that's a charitable cause. And so I found that rather peculiar. But yeah, the remaining committed to the nonprofit and choosing not to help myself, or not to try to make money to help myself, when there are so many I see so many other people prospering, and I know that I've done it before and I could be turning this money back into my own pocket. I get tempted. Honestly,
I get that.
Yeah.
I think anybody could get that. And there's plenty of people who showed up that we all love, including Ray here, who says, just being successful in your cause and dreams are our biggest and best things during this journey. Material items aren't needed as long as the goal is succeeding.
Hell yeah. Amen, bro. That's very good. For real.
Yeah. And there are definitely friends new and old here. I would just very quickly like to pop them up on screen. Are you able to see this, Swede? You seem to be having a little bit of a vision issue today. Are you back?
Yeah.
Like, can you see? Okay. So yeah, Ray's here. Aaron's.
I can't see who's there unless you put it up on the screen.
Right, I'm putting it up there.
We got
Shboy Boy in the house. Brother Doug, who's probably just in the next room, but it's great to have you watching. And Ray's here. So there's somebody up above that. Oh, Brett. We didn't say hi to Brett. We didn't say hi to Tara. Catherine O'Sullivan. It says, hello from Blue Mountain Beach.
Oh, what's up, girl? Oh, D-Rex, Blue Mountain Beach was on the way from where our condo was when we stayed in Miramar, and when we went to have lunch when Jigga J Calcut turned into the host. Remember at Bud and Alley's where you made the video?
That is a
we drove through Blue Mountain Beach
area. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We're going back. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to finish. There are a couple more eligibility criteria requirements that I thought were important to cover.
Yeah, I want you to get through these.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I was talking about, transparency important, and if that's important to me, that's ultimately why I chose this because when I learned that, when I was like, wait a minute, so in order to do this, you have to be willing to open up your books and show everyone how you're spending your money. That's great
Mm-hmm.
because that
Mm-hmm.
enables me to ask easier. Like one of the first things that was hard for me in the beginning to swallow was that my life had gotten saved, that I had been so foolish, that I had been so vulnerable and so dumb and so naive to go out there and not have traveler's insurance. I was offered traveler's insurance every opportunity so many times, and I was like, "Nah, I'm invincible. Nah, I don't have to worry about that." And what a what a dipshit I have been. So I'm really trying to make it so that you guys know that it was a good move to help me out of there by not doing anything dipshitish anymore, by having transparent books. You know what I mean, and being
Mm-hmm.
able to prove to you guys that I'm gonna take this and make it worth your while for real. So the
Yeah, I got to
transparency.
say, transparency is great because it's hard to trust people that you maybe don't know or barely know. But knowing that you could look in their books at any point on in public, you know that you can trust that they mean what they say.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And going back to the nomination thing, like when we found Schaefer's nomination, wow, what a joyful thing to have a worthy cause like that. And because when you nominate and they accept, if the person wants to be a beneficiary, that's a very heartwarming thing. But it's a big deal, and that there's a commitment there, and so we have to share information and that kind of thing. So we want that's another criteria is non-discriminating. So obviously they have to qualify. So that's why we had such a great joyful show the other day. Look back in our thumbnail list, you'll see the great news thumbnail. That's the show where we talked about Schaefer had gotten accepted to be able to get treated at the Stem Cell Institute. So non-discrimination is another criteria of of the nonprofit eligibility. So let us know who you think is a good worthy cause, and we'll look at it. And our
And this
cause.
is how you let us know. You email nominations at thehswa.org. It's running across the ticker right now.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. And what you're nominating them for has to be a public benefit. That's why even giving shots to puppies, that's a public benefit because that's real. Real people, real money, real emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And then so along all these lines, you have to always be able to stay compliant with IRS regulations, and so all that information is available. Like I personally read Nonprofits for Dummies to get clear on what I was gonna have to do, because I'm like, okay, if dummies can do it, I can do it. But I ain't too proud to admit how I got my information. And so when you're fundraising, once you get the status of nonprofit and you're basically letting people know that they're giving money to you, you're going to use it for good, and then the IRS is like, okay, thank you for giving them money to use for good. The money that you gave, you don't have to pay income tax on. File that in your
Mm-hmm.
deductions, and then
Mm-hmm.
for the IRS says to us, thank you for doing good with their money, so you don't have to pay tax on that either. And so you operate like a business. You still have business expenses. So we still aspire to build the team here at the HSWA with salaries and expenses. I mean, it ain't cheap to operate this program. I'm not going to exaggerate it. When you decide to go into nonprofit, you have to be willing to cover some costs in the beginning until you start generating the funds to cover them. And so right now I'm spending money to make this thing happen a lot of times, but I know that I'm building something here, and I'm not looking for instant gratification. I knew when I started to get real with what had happened to me and started to set in that the odds are not in my favor, that I was going to beat this. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to give up. It's just a long game. I'm going to play the long game. So I'm investing in this, play the long game. And that's why, D-Rex, whenever I, begin the show and I tell you how much I appreciate you. And I mean, I'm not like blowing smoke, man. Like the fact that you're pouring into this so much means so much to me because you're helping me get more out of my money, you know? And so that's why the nonprofit route it's a slog because it's delayed gratification, you know. So please help us get there. We have a goal of getting Schaefer's targets by his birthday, which is January 25th, 2024. He'll turn 7,000 donations, $50 a donation. That'll get all the books shipped. That'll get somebody going to Alaska, and that'll get Schaefer's treatment paid for. So please, the hswa.org, hit the Get Schaefer button. Like this video, subscribe to us, share us, and help us get the word out. The more donations we get, the faster, the sooner, the better. And then once we prove that we're able to do it, that's another thing about it, is that once we prove that we've done it, then folks that have real money, that are supporting real causes, we can start applying for government grants and looking at foundational causes that they're organized just to raise money for this type of thing. And then corporations that, are looking for charitable causes also. There's just as much money being given away as there is being earned on this planet. And that's the beautiful thing about humankind. So once you guys help us get there and we can prove that we're doing it once, the probably the cheaper it'll get for us, and then the more access we get to bigger funding sources. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's important to note, because I think that's probably the most frustrating thing about starting a nonprofit, is that you realize that once you start it, once you get that paperwork in, you're like, I did it. Nobody wants to give you money at first because you haven't proven anything. And that is frustrating. So how do you prove yourself in order to get funding happening? You just have to do things. You just have to get it done. And that's what we're doing here when we're trying to raise money for Schaefer. We're getting it done so that we're proving that we can do this thing. And if you want to help promote that cause and just show people that things can get done so that more can get done, that's worthy enough for a worthy enough cause to donate for, to prove that people can get things done if they try hard enough. I think for me, getting our first music scholarship happening, it proved to me that I could do it. It didn't even have to prove to other people that we could get it done. It was wonderful that we could just, well, hello. Are you back? Goodness gracious.
Are we back in the house? Can you hear me?
45 minutes into our podcast today. You're back.
Oh, maybe not. I can't hear you either.
Oh, no, I can hear you. Okay, we can hear you. You just have to figure things out.
D-Rex,
all right. Well, I can't believe
it's time
it.
for us to bring our friend Caro in from behind the curtain. What do you think?
Okay.
Can we get a hell yeah
awesome
for our favorite?
Hell yeah.
Don't chase the monkeys.
Hey, Caro. Hi, Caro. I realized that something muted me there at the end, so I don't know how long I was muted. I think when you came back online, I got muted. So everybody's working now. Everybody's back. How are you, Caro?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here again. You guys make me wait forever, but I think we have some time to to go through my questions, and I'm so excited, and I'm so proud of you guys. So proud. Like, it's amazing that all the work and all the effort that you guys make to help the community and all these things that you have done. So thank you again. So proud of you guys.
Well,
And
are working. You are putting a lot into this too. So we appreciate that you feel that way about us, but be proud of yourself too, because you're hand in the pile.
yeah, I'm so grateful to be learning next to you guys. Like, I try to learn everything I can with you guys. You guys are a great example of successful people and people who wants to pursue your dreams and help the community, and I'm so grateful to be around you guys.
Oh, don't make me blush over here, Caroline.
Okay, we're going to our uh, questions because we don't have too much time left, as usual. I have always so much fun offering our audience my viewpoint. And by the way, if I have seen a lot of people here participating, and if you have more questions about anything, don't hesitate to ask. We're more than happy to answer. And if you see the podcast after, if you watch later, you still can make questions in the comments in the YouTube channel, and we're more than happy to answer all the questions that you guys have to uh, be answered. So I am again so proud of being part of this, because most business owners, they always they focus on the profits, and but you guys are more focused in the no profit, helping our community. And I have a couple questions for Direx and Sui. So please, Sui, answer our question on no storytelling unless it's super important. Please stick to the questions, and we don't have all night. We just have a couple minutes, so we have to hurry and go through this. So the first question for, can you guys hear me? I'm having a little trouble of, I don't know if you,
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
okay. You guys are listening?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
So the first question, Direx, since each of you guys are operating a no-profit, uh, how many benefits, how many people have you guys helped? So Direx.
Well, the number of families that I help every year ranges between 65 and 75. And
Wow.
that's generally
That's
what
awesome, dude. Damn.
what I'm managing every year. But I have a different model than the Help Swede. I mean, Help Swede Walk Again organization.
For how long
The
you been doing this?
HSWA. I've had my nonprofit for 7 years,
Oh, okay.
and I think
That's
it's
awesome.
going on 8 now. So it's been rolling for a little while.
Oh yeah, that's
Awesome,
awesome.
awesome. 7 years. Wow. What about you, Sui?
Well, that's the thing. That's why I was commenting a little bit ago about how D-Rex's advice hits so hard with me, because this is all new to me. Like I was, I was running around Bali like learning to surf. I wasn't trying to operate a nonprofit organization. So we're learning how to get all this stuff figured out. But it's a business. It's just like a business. So I mean, I know how to work all that kind of stuff out. But I've got one person right now that I'm working on helping, and his name is Shafe from Mezzacapo. My man, Shafe. Man, I was when I was putting that little video together earlier, and I was just like, his voice. He's got such a unique voice, and so when I was putting it together earlier, I was getting teared up a little bit, to be honest with you. I think actually, I know that we brought you in late, Caro, and you have questions, but I didn't get access to my media earlier, and I didn't get a chance to play this, and I really wanted to play this for this guy.
I agree.
So if we have to go a little bit longer, just bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to find that now that I'm back on. I'm going to try to find that stuff that I made for him earlier, because like this guy, like seeing where he's come from, is like really so heartwarming to me. So let me see if I can.
And so, Carol, ask us another question while he
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
that.
I was. Thank you. Okay. since give me a second that I lost my. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hang on because I having some technical issues here too.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. Uh, so how you guys direct? How do you get funding? Like, are you relying more on the government help um, or the private donors? Like, how do you rely
It's
the most?
usually fee-based services. That's most of what I receive. I've received some government help in the past couple of years, but I can't say it's the bulk of what I receive. But I'm hoping that as things move along, and I always try to tell Swede that things always take a little more time than we expect. Like I thought that in the first couple of years of running this nonprofit that I was just going to be able to easily apply for grants. And that really wasn't the case. For the first 5 years, I was just working so hard just to keep compliant and run my business and do my work there that I had no time to apply for government grants. And it was really only in the past few years where I've found the time to do so. It's almost another full-time job. And when you get to the point in your nonprofit that you can hire a grant writer, it'd be a huge relief to be able to do that. And I'm still not there. I'm still not there, but I hope to be there soon.
Wow, what a great one.
Awesome. What
Excellent.
about Sweet? Did you find your video or did you go ahead and answer
I
the
did, but yeah,
same question?
I'll answer that question too because I mean it's actually pretty relevant to the point is that right now obviously the donors are those that donate to the hswa.org. So when all the dough that goes there is the dough that I'm getting. I haven't gotten any kind of government grants, but I've got a list folks that I sent a personal email to last week before last week's podcast, letting them know that they had been grandfathered in to the raffle at $25 a piece, and we are lowering the number from 2,000 donors to 1,000. But there's only, I think, there's less than 50 donors, I believe, so far, and I'm thankful for every single one of you. I hope that you guys got my message, and I know a bunch of you that got it. A lot of you guys are here tonight, actually. But those are the people that have donated to me so far. But that's why it's important to prove that I have to be given an opportunity to use the money in order to prove to the ones that are going to really give major amounts. So that's why this stage is so important. And like D-Rex said, it's it's a slog, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Oh, and as a matter of fact, thank you for asking that. Also, I do have the video ready. I believe here. Let's see how this.
But you gotta believe me. You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. No, I'm fucking work, but it's fucking work.
Keep going. Go. All the way. Come on, Denver, buddy. Go.
Look at that dancing.
I learned it.
That's major because his injury, his challenges all lie in his motor skills. Oh.
I had to mute that so I could hear what you said.
All right. first time standing up.
Wow.
No. Okay. I admit it. I had to put that up there. Yeah, man. So I'm sorry. I just, I think that it's important that our audience knows that we have every intention of trying to do what we can to help this guy because stem cells are proven to have high level efficacy with improving motor skills in guys that have his issues. So it's a worthwhile cause. So that goes back to the questions that you're asking, Carol, about who my beneficiary is, and that's the guy right now. But if you guys know anybody that anyone else that that could use that type of assistance, please by all means nominees at the hswa.org is the email. Let us know.
It's nominations at the hswa.org.
Awesome. So I think I can go ahead and keep asking the last couple questions.
Yeah, please do. Sorry.
So I understand that the government offer grants and the corporation offer grants, but what does it mean by foundational?
Oh, foundational. So yeah, the government, you can get grants from the government. You can get corporate grants, or you can get foundational grants. Like, for example, like my scholarship, for example, comes from the Craig H. Nielsen Foundation. And Craig H. Nielsen was a guy, I believe he got wealthy in casinos and then got injured and got a spinal cord injury at some point in his life. And he redirected what would have been his personal profits. And, we all know how much money casinos can make. He redirected those personal, gains back into research and helping those of us that have spinal cord injuries. So that's an example of foundational grants. Is like private companies that their whole purpose is to raise money by doing. That's the thing. There's people that may have enough more money than they know what to do with. Far cry from those of us that are living check to check, but and they put it back into philanthropic causes. So those foundations are the ones that are the way that those monies are channeled to. People that are giving, they give to foundations, and that's one, like corporations, governments, and then foundations like that.
Got it. Do you have something to add, Direx, to this question?
I don't, but I want to say that if anybody is considering starting a nonprofit and wants to reach out to us, they can always use this email, hello@gitbuzylivin.com. We respond to emails and we like to make friends. How about that?
Please do.
Awesome.
That's another way if you guys know somebody that you feel is appropriate to be a guest on our show. That's another way of getting at us too. Sorry, go ahead, Carol.
Yes.
No, I have a question for Direx. Like you were saying, like you just not too long ago start getting help from the government. So you're mainly getting help from.
I cannot hear what Caro's saying right now.
I think her mic's. I'm not getting her loud and clear either. I think your mic's breaking up.
I still can't hear me.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? Okay,
Yes.
so can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yes.
Okay. So you say that you recently, not too long ago, start getting help from the government. What about the corporation or foundations? Like how often did you get that help on?
Well, I haven't pursued it. I think that it's you have to make your choices in how you spend your time.
Yeah, good point.
There are so many jobs within this job, and in all these jobs that Swede and I are doing lately, there are so many jobs within our jobs that you really have to choose your time wisely. And for me, when I pursue the government grants, it's kind of this streamlined process that I understand and I've done before, and I haven't pursued any other avenues yet.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Like
Once I get a grant writer, that would be the way to go.
and
Couldn't hear what you say. I'm sorry. Can you say again the last part? I couldn't hear you. I'm having some difficulties listening.
So I would be able to do those things if I had a grant writer, but I'm just not there yet.
Gotcha. What were you saying, Sweet? You wanted to say something?
well, no, I was just elaborating a little bit, and I'm glad you're asking these questions because just like we did this a couple weeks ago, they're good questions. An audience, probably has the same questions, in some way, and it's helping us clarify some things. But for me, like I said, it's all about building. Right now it's all funding through these methods that we've been talking about with the Help Schaefer button on the HSWA website. But you can also you can join the party also on the HSWA. But it's all grassroots funding right now, all organic. But once we've proven that we are using the money wisely, then we can start aiming higher. So it all starts there. Really, that's where we're at.
But this first
Yeah,
step is the hardest, and that's why we need the most help right now.
Yeah. It's so good to know that right now we're getting help from our close circle of friends. But once we prove that we're doing the right thing and using in the good way, we're gonna start getting help from different resources like the government and the corporation, and that will be amazing. And that way we're gonna really start helping more people, and that's the huge goal here. So it's really, really exciting that we're proving and we're doing the work. And yeah, it takes a huge effort, but day by day we're been doing it.
I like
So
that.
excited.
And I appreciate, I think it was worth it to go a little bit over to get those last couple points in. I'm glad that you brought it in that manner, Caro. And I think it's cool that we get this, the audience gets a perspective from you that's kind of joining late and not joining late because obviously you were there with me in the ICU, but for you to come into this after we had been several months into it and see the cause and be interested and want to put your time and effort into it. I mean, what does that say, D-Rex, about what she sees and what you and I are doing, that she wants to also pour into it like that? I mean, that's what I'm hoping that other people will recognize as well, is that when you're behind the scenes here and you see what we're doing, you realize that it's a worthy cause. And I'm so happy to have you, Caro. So thank you for being
No, thank you guys for letting me participate one more time here.
This was a tough one today because of the technical difficulties over here. But man, we seem to overcome them, like it's our hobby. Think about how many times we've had this type of stuff happen, and it's like we just keep on punching, right?
Challenges every week. There are new challenges all the time.
And we haven't mentioned our vision issues. Everybody today is having trouble with their eyes. Like,
I know, right?
We have to close our eyes for 30 minutes, for 10 minutes.
Lori's like crying. She
There's
said,
always something.
Watching that video. Thank you, Lori, for volunteering this stuff for us. He was 4 when he first stood up. I mean, listen, go back if you haven't. Go back and watch the episode a couple weeks ago with Lori. She told Schaefer's story. It's worth it, and it really is. I think it's worth it. I'm dedicated. I'm so grateful, so super ultra grateful and proud to have you two spectacular women on this journey with me. I will thank you until the skies fall. Thank you so much. Once again, another great job. Come back. We're back next week. The Git Bizzy Livin Project comes back to you every Thursday at 9 Eastern on the Git Bizzy Livin YouTube channel. And please come back every week. Tell your friends about us. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And always remember, no matter the weather, whether sunshine or rain, there's no joy without pain. Always remember, we're all in this together. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But you gotta believe